Ash Ketchum's Charizard had never been his most cooperative Pokemon. In fact, it rarely listened to Ash and would often act in direct contradiction to his requests. But still, Ash never would have wished upon him the fate that was fast approaching. In the midst of a battle with another trainer, Charizard flew off into a nearby woods. Pikachu was able to finish off the battle for him, but soon after, Ash had to go looking for his disobedient ally. When he found Charizard, the Pokemon was in the midst of a battle of its own, though it didn't at first seem to be a particularly dangerous one. Some small Pokemon that Ash had never seen had latched onto Charizard's face, and Charizard was thrashing to try and get rid of it. Pikachu managed to zap the thing off, and it simply lay passed out. Ash scanned it with his Pokedex, but it didn't seem to have an entry in the Dex. It wouldn't even go into a Pokeball when he hurled one at it. They left the creature be and went on their way, but quickly Charizard started to act more violent than usual. It refused to go into its ball and was clawing at its own chest. This went on for a few hours, and Ash soon realized he had to get Charizard to a Pokemon Center. By the time he did, Charizard was practically unapproachable. It was slashing its claws and tails and gnashing its jaws at Nurse Joy as she tried to run some tests. They told her about the creature that had latched onto Charizard's face, and she went sheet white. She'd heard some horrific stories from other Pokemon trainers experiencing something similar, and what came as a result was truly awful. Praying that the grim outcome she'd heard of was not about to occur, she got Charizard into a room to give it an X-ray. By the time she got the machine ready, though, it was already too late. From the other room, they heard a blood-curdling roar from Charizard. They threw open the doors and saw that a creature, like a mutated black Charmander, had burst out of Charizard's chest and scrambled out of the room. For the moment, they had to ignore the escaped thing as Nurse Joy got to work doing all she could to heal Charizard. It took days, but she and the other workers at the Pokemon Center were able to stabilize the creature. In that time, however, stories started being spread around town of a Charizard nearly twice the size of a normal one and somehow perpetually in a mutated version of its mega-evolved state, ruthlessly attacking trainers and their Pokemon. Ash and his friends knew quickly that this must be the creature that had burst forth from his poor Pokemon, and they felt it was their duty to hunt it down. Luckily, Charizard, once back on its feet, was more than eager to settle the score it now had with the monster that had nearly taken its life. And so, the hunt was on. Now, I had two main intentions going into this drawing. One of them was to make a companion piece to my Charizard Y Dragon from my second episode of Pokemon as Dragons. And this obviously isn't the exact same thing because that was just me turning Pokemon into dragons, and this was me doing a Charizard X Xenomorph. But I felt like they would be similar enough that these two pieces would look really cool next to one another, and I think that does come across. I like this one a lot better in the end. I said in that last Pokemon Dragons episode that I actually like Charizard X's design better. It's one of my favorite Pokemon designs, and so I had so much fun going at this with Xenomorph inspiration because I really loved how that Famous Monsters as Xenomorphs episode from a few days ago turned out. With that said, my second intention was that I really wanted to make this better than my Xenomorph Godzilla from that last Xenomorph Famous Monsters episode. I don't know if I quite hit that. I think the Godzilla one might still be slightly better, but I do absolutely love how this turns out, and I think it's at least very close to as good as that one. They obviously have a lot of similarities, flames sputtering out the sides of the mouth, even though they're different colored flames, both very purple backgrounds. I do think the crumbling buildings in the Godzilla one were really cool and are a little bit more interesting than the background I have in this one. But overall, I definitely think this comes very close to being as good. Maybe it could even be better. Maybe I'll change my mind about which one I like better later on. Also, this as a bonus episode came about the same way a lot of my bonus episodes come about, where I started drawing this in Procreate on my iPad, which isn't what I usually use for episodes, but because Procreate automatically records things when you're drawing, when I got through the initial roughing stage of this, I was like, you know, if I move this over to my desktop and finish it, keep recording it, I could turn this into a bonus episode. And I'm glad I did that, because I really love this drawing. I hope you all like it as much as I do. Let's take a look at the finished result. If you want the art from this as a poster, I have put it up on my Teespring store, the link is in the description, and if you enjoyed this, you might like my Famous Monsters as Xenomorphs episode. It's more of a, full-length episode. Or maybe my Pokemon as Dragons. But besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or inspiring note, and the thought I want to leave people with today is a quote that says, "Don't run from chaos. Stand your ground and let the chaos run from you." I don't recall who said that one, but it's a good, punchy one. I like it. I hope that's inspiring to someone out there. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next episode on Friday, in which I'm finally taking on Lego Ninjago.